So, hello and welcome to season 10 of the Mundane to Magical Online Summit. My name is Louise Matson, and as always, I am truly blessed to be your host. I do apologise for my voice. I will be trying my best to be easily understood. However, I do have a bad cold at the moment. But as always, I trust that when Spirit guides me to continue on with something, all will be as it's divinely meant to be. Each season, I'm always divinely guided as to who to invite and the messages and transmissions that are to be shared. And today, I'm really excited to share space again with another wonderful returning speaker, Nora WalksInSpirit. Nora is an Algonquin shamanic teacher and healer, and an advanced telepathic medical intuitive communicator to many intelligent light beings from many dimensions and grid systems beyond. And Nora always brings forth such incredibly high vibrational transmissions with each appearance on the show, and today's call will be no different. So hold on to your hats, guys. It's going to be a wonderful ride. And with absolute beautiful synchronicity, Nora's topic for today is sacredness of the stillness. And I say beautiful synchronicity because yesterday with Peter Tong, he spoke of the importance of stepping into stillness. So what perfect timing.
Yeah.
Peter's call is now available on replay on YouTube and on the mundanetoMagicalLiving.com website on the replay page. But Nora will be sharing more about the importance of listening to the stillness and breathing in the light of the stillness to shift your mind and awaken your sacred knowledge within. And we will also get an opportunity to experience stillness, as Nora will also be sharing an incredibly powerful activation at the end of the conversation. So we can all experience opening our hearts to the light and vibrations of the light intelligences. Sorry. Nora's activation is around transmuting your aura fields into quantum matrix fields of light that transmit light vibrations into the chakras of the body in absolute peace. And I'm particularly looking forward to this, as when we connect into the stillness, it raises our awareness to all that needs to be cleared, healed, and elevated. And so I'm more than ready to embrace this opportunity to clear and heal. As always, there are opportunities for questions, so please feel free to use the chat or the Q&A sections on Zoom. Unfortunately, I can't see any questions or comments that you put on YouTube whilst I'm doing this live call. And questions will be answered before the activation, because we want you to remain in that state of stillness and grace for as long as possible after this call. So let's get started. It's with an open and loving heart that I welcome you back to the summit, Nora.
Oh, thank you, Louise. And yes, I'm going to be, as you were chatting away there, I was calling in my higher infinite beings to circle around your throat chakra. and also they were showing me spots at the back below the left wingtip, inside of the inner left lung. And that's also getting an adjustment as we're sitting here. And so it'll be fascinating to hear your voice change at the end of the hour.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, so those who have not been in my presence, this is really what happens is, and this is why I wanted to bring in the stillness as a discussion, because it's how I learned to be in the higher states of connecting. And so we're it's just automatically how it happens. So I'm just going to describe what's taking place right now. So for me, when I'm ready in my inner mind to call in the higher vibrations of the infinite masters, it's an infinite master energy of intelligence that comes to me. And when it does, it kind of tingles on the back of my head. And then I feel this energy inside my heart, and it just pushes up this sacred light language. And then I have that knowing state and that connected state that these infinite beings and different ones are ready to deliver a message. I really just get the topic, and then what happens is whatever being is in the mastery of that, start speaking. And it begins with the light language opening. And as the light language comes in comes the information. As the light language comes in, that information we're hearing with the mind, but it's also adjusting the vibrational fields in your aura body. It's adjusting the cellular memories inside the mental, physical, emotional body. They want to do adjustments in the cellular emotional bodies today. The unbalanced energies of what is taking place on the planet. It's like a huge spraying of accelerated fear in the emotional hearts and minds. And it feels out of control. And so when things start feeling out of control without our emanational connections to our higher vibrational minds or our higher consciousness of light systems, we start depleting in our physical body's energies. This why you have a hard time thinking, you feel disoriented, you feel wobbly, you will pick up a cold or any lowering frequency nearby. Correct. And so when I'm bringing in these energies right now, each time you're hearing the tone and the vibration of the light language, it is adjusting those main bodies, mental, emotional, and physical, which are the primary cellular memory fields of consciousness that become adjusted when we listen to the hierarchy of stillness. Yeah, you on the day they're ancient Sanskrit frequencies, and the digi that wants to adjust in the cellular memory body, that has been shaken and awakened out of dormancy in all physical forms. And so they wanted to bring the preference of understanding that in the quietness, even if it's for just a moment or two, the higher vibrations of the light in this fifth dimensional consciousness, which we're happily moving into and really becoming familiar with, accepting and adapting to the higher conscious waveforms that's telepathically giving us directions more than ever. We are able to accelerate the body systems, but it's also in this acceleration, it's opening up the cellular memories that were dormant. In this case, on the planet, the memories that are dormant are both the light and the dark timelines. And so we have a huge waveform of interruptive, by destructive, and uneasy energies that's moving around. And if these higher vibrations of the electromagnetics of the fifth dimension is appearing to be our new essence of our new breathing pattern, our new enveloping operating pattern of a fifth dimensional consciousness, then what's going on is all that is awakening inside of us is jumping and projecting into the aura field And now you have this ongoing energy of the lower fear-based consciousness fields, the trauma, the karma, soul lifetimes. And the only way that we can stay into the state of balanced, into the state of a higher vibration, and not go into these anxieties and panic attacks without knowing why or how to release it, is through getting yourself grounded and settling into the stillness. It's when we let go of the mind, of these inconsistent and destructive thought forms that are appearing. We're not bringing them on. It's a combination of what's going on around us in the consciousness grid systems, but it's also moving in our bodies as we are accelerating into the fifth dimension of our own soul journey. The telepathic vibrational fields, the clairs, clairvoyant, clairaudient, claircognizant, all of the clairs, the 5 clairs, we're blossoming. It's a good time. We're blossoming in our abilities, but we're also waking and shaking up the old dark memories and karma trauma energies. And so I find that when we go into a quiet state, even if you have to run down the hall and have and sit in the room for a minute or two and get a hold of the light of your vibrant inner mind, and the light in your heart, and readjust and relax and get grounded and just listen for that moment. And I'll bring in that frequency now just for a second. And when we bring that in, it's a technique that you want to be setting into on a daily basis, maybe 10 times by the morning, depends on the calamities or the conversations or the text messages or whatever you get altered by. And I'm going to get to do what you this is not an easy time. And I'm going to get to but it is a very empowering time. And I'm going to for the adjustments to be unveiled to us and for us to accept and adapt into the hidden abilities and the hidden mastery vibrations that are also servicing. And these ones are the ones that we want to be falling into or flowing into consciousness, not being derailed and on the path of the lowering energies, or what I see as in my shamanic training is the shadow selves. The hidden selves of what you have gone through in other lifetimes, including this lifetime, create shadow selves of others to build a huge energetic field around you. And this is what we want to clear today in the stillness. I find a lot of people are disorientated and have these overwhelming emotional attacks of uneasiness or a sadness or anxiousness. There's also a lot of energies of total exhaustion. And you say, oh, is that the COVID virus? No, it's not the COVID virus. It's the exhaustion of the cellular body developing into a higher grid system of consciousness. And it's the push and pull of transmuting the lowering vibration into a higher intelligent vibration with the mind not interfering. And the only way that it's not going to interfere is through, going into what they would say the gap or the void. And for me, it's just the stillness.
Yeah.
And so when we have the higher beings that everybody works with in their own consciousness, that's what you really want to settle into every day. We have had the lunar eclipse. We're having the solar eclipse and lunar eclipse, full moons. We just experienced a very, very heightened vibration in the 1010 gateway of oneness vibration. And so all of these electromagnetic fields and vibrations coming in from the higher realms is lining up for us to get through the waveforms, like move it away and just stand in the higher vibrational field and not become of the lowering vibrational field. And for me, recognizing specific sounds, specific energies that you breathe in to the body is by far the easiest way to get yourself back in alignment with your higher consciousness. So I have had people say, well, I hear this ringing, or I've heard this other tone, and then I felt like someone's just touched my hand or pulled on my, on the back of my arm one day, and I kind of jumped. And that's a reaction because we've been raised with the fear-based consciousness. And so we want to get into the stillness of understanding there is a beautiful essence of our own higher soul, of our higher selves that are the hidden selves, the shadow selves, which are perhaps mastery selves that want to have that moment of time with you to regenerate a higher frequency in the cellular molecular body. And you can only do that when you clear the mind of the thought forms and clear the anxiety and really start accessing what's going on inside my physical body. It's the physical body and the emotional mental body that needs the clearing, that needs the realignment, and it needs to know that everything is adjusting and becoming a oneness of this pure divine soul-like being of who you are.
Yeah.
So when I get the message a few months ago, back in August, they said, you need to concentrate on listening to the physical body. You need to listen to the cellular molecular body and what is the body asking for? What is the body receiving and retrieving and awakening of? Its vibration is that what is going to regenerate a new light body, a new light consciousness, an infinite grid system, or a new cellular membrane that it has been dormant, and the new cellular light that comes through you is going to activate all the DNA and everything into a light vibration, which means you're going to be able to sustain the higher frequency longer, and you'll build a resilience to the low vibrations because you're going to, it's one of those again. Okay. Because you get to know by going into stillness, you'll get to know that specific sound, that's what you're calling in to release the lower vibration that's trying to pull up the shadow selves of anxiety and fear, trauma from a horrific timeline, or also a wounded self, hidden self in this timeline. So I just want to bring that in for just a moment, because I'd like everyone to get a sense of the high masters that I work with, to bathe you and just allow them to work on your aura field, but then move in and tap into your inner body cellular area, and any area that is feeling unsettled right now or ill or block, will let them do the work. I just want to take a few minutes just to do that for a practice, and then we'll have some questions.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I can already feel they're working at the back of the scapula. I was feeling that the whole time you've been speaking. So absolutely, you go, bring them in.
So they're always with me. They're my little, I should say little entourage, because they're a universal entourage at this point. But they will start going in and sweeping and clearing the aura field first, and getting all of the entangled thought forms that are resonating and projecting around the head, and anything laborious on the hearts, worries, fears, uncertainties. So I'm just going to go in and ask everyone to just get your feet grounded, and close your eyes. Just relax the shoulders. And the light languages that I speak, I'm going to call them in, and I'm going to have them come in pretty close, because everybody that's here that I'm sensing is ready and waiting for a little bit of an accelerated boost of their cellular structures. There goes the wave. The wave is coming in. Breathe it in to your heart. Feel the essence around the head, on top of the head. I'm going to ask them to come in a little bit closer and create a column of light around each and everybody. But I want this column of light to be filled with diamond frequencies of crystals shimmering around all the chakras, inside all the chakras. Clearing up the low vibrations in the body. Activating a few crystals in the pineal, oblongata, throat, thymus, heart, occipital, and tailbone. Oh, there's heaviness in the tailbone in many. I'm doing an adjustment in the tailbone. Listen to the stillness around you and become aware of how warm the energy is inside you, and how cool and crystallizing the clearing is around you. Adjustments are being done to the joints. Get no go get it no go get it no go go no 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 go yada should know. Crystallized frequencies have just been transmitted in the stillness around all hearts and minds. What you should know, you who have spirit guides and master teachers who you walk with, we welcome their energies to come closer in sparks of light, in resonating tones for you to remember and recognize. Listen to the tone and the frequency now. Allow the frequency to do the adjustment, to the mind to accept and to breathe in to the heart. I'm going to ask my infinite masters to come in and sweep up the scattered energies and the heavy, uncertain energies on the back of the head of everyone. You're just sitting in the aura fields and they need to be removed so we can bring in the higher light frequencies to build a new network of light around you. No longer interrupted by these scattered energies. Oscillations. There are oscillations that are being elaborately woven in the aura fields of a higher light vibrational tone in the stillness. Breathe in and integrate the new light vibration is the oscillation of a crystallized network who's come to know you now. Come to heal you now. Come to purify the cellular network of all anxiousness, uncertainty, lowliness, manipulation, distractions. Shut up. The adjustments have been done. In the stillness of the moment, the mind has accepted and adapted to the crystallite vibration and its tone that is now imprinted and will assist in you sustaining the higher light consciousness each day now. It is done. And then as you open your eyes, I just want you to get a sense of the new energy on top of your head, behind your head, that you are connected into a divine essence of a higher presence, which is your own soul light vibrational field and your own guides that you work with. In this stillness is how we build the new template or grid system around us of this connected field that we just went into. And that breathing in is accelerating the vibrational consciousness inside your body to push out the low energies, the low memories, to be healed and transmuted. We're not just breathing them out, discarding them. We're breathing in the light intelligence to transmute them and heal them, and so that the next soul lifetime, the hidden self and shadow self, is in its master light frequency. Mm-hmm. And your bodies of any low vibrations are not going to be responding, reacting, troubled to someone that you're standing beside in a lineup that is oscillating in their own hidden self, shadow selves of fear. Mm. You won't have that in you to resonate with. You'll just be the transmitter. Yeah. It's like you'll be the gatekeeper to all the other souls around us that are being torn and twisted out of their own light vibrational body. We want to bring the oneness of the vibrational light consciousness into all bodies by recognizing when we have that panic attack or low vibrational emotion, and to go into that stillness for a minute and listen. It's listening to what's in the stillness. It's like listening to the sound of the void and encapsulating that void essence here, in here, and into every cell of your being. It takes only 2 or 3 minutes, really.
Yeah. Sandy says she's still tingling. I felt my whole face vibrating when you started. My eyes were just fluttering behind my eyelids, and then by the end of it, my whole face was vibrating.
They're doing the adjustments to the molecular structure, and your mind is trying to calibrate. Okay, is this good? Do I want this? That's why I bring in the stillness to get the mind to listen to what the body is feeling.
Yeah.
We need to be feeling more now, and listening to what we're feeling, to what the body's asking for. Most times, for lots of times when I could be driving my car or going somewhere, and all of a sudden I get this energy sweep through me, and the first thing I do is I just say, "This is not my frequency. Go back to your source."
Yeah.
So sometimes we don't know, where did I pick that up from? Yeah. Where did that consciousness of uneasiness all of a sudden appear? I didn't have it 20 minutes ago. And you don't know who's emailing you, who's texting you, who's talking to you, from the conversation the night before. So it's very easy to just go into the stillness and just feel, where is it settling the worst feeling tight on my neck? This is not my frequency. Go to the light and be healed, and go back to your source.
Yeah.
Because the source means we're letting the infinite masters take it to the right place. We're not guessing anymore. Because we might think it's my brother or it's the neighbor. We don't know. Let's not spend time trying to figure out who put that energy there. Give it over to these wonderful master beings did you feel them come closer? I wonder if anybody felt that essence of when I said come closer.
I definitely felt it. For anybody who wants to ask Nora a question, please feel free to write it in the Q&A or in the chat box. But yeah, let us know if you felt it. Sherry says yes, definitely. Sandy, yes, absolutely. Becky has said the energy and frequency is pouring into her so powerfully. It's absolute heaven. Louise said really felt the energy all over her head. Martel says yes, yeah. Becky says yeah, felt the masters coming in closer. So Maria says felt very emotional, tears came down.
Okay, so that emotional tears coming down is a releasement of anything that was blocking her inner child from feeling this very elaborate essence of purity. So we have hidden selves that haven't been able to stand up and show their power because they've been blanketed by the heaviness around us. And so if we have the higher frequencies coming in that I work with, pouring on your body, enveloping your aura field, so he's saying for everyone, just ask. Just ask for the higher presence to arrive in the stillness. And it will appear just as it is right now. You feel more all of a sudden when I said that, you feel it's a different vibration coming in the ears.
Yeah. Lots of people are recommending your courses. Terry said left side of the back of the head, gentle feeling of like a hand. Romalyn says definitely felt the masters close, thank you. Micah asks, the cat is sleeping nearby. Will this beautiful energy be affecting the animals? I mean, I've got 2 dogs sleeping on the floor near me.
You know something, Louise, I have to tell you something. My dog, whenever I was going on a show, right, or if I was going to start one of my teachings in my class, my big golden lab, he's always walking around, or whenever I usually bring him in the house because I don't want him barking during the show. But he would come around, he would walk around. As soon as the light languages come in and I'm bringing in the firelight frequencies, he's now snoring underneath of my desk. And I'm like, oh, now I have this. Or he'll just lay with his legs right out. And the cats, they will usually start purring really, really loud because they're wanting that essence of the higher frequencies of the higher beings coming in the room. They're wanting that communication grid to really, really start soaring. I've also felt the animals will come closer if they need a healing. And so they will come up to me and push their leg, their head or their leg. They want a healing. So just putting my hand on them and petting them, they're getting that energetic adjustment.
I mean, I must admit, when I got these 2 as puppies, I mean, you'd think, crazy puppies, and I'm trying to do energy work, but the minute I called in the healing teams and everything, they would immediately lay down and go to sleep. And then the instant that it stopped, they'd get up and have puppy playtime again. So animals absolutely do feel the presence, feel the energies coming in, and they love it, absolutely love it.
And they are also good transmitters and adjusters. So, if you have that anxiousness or if you have an ache in the body and just holding that animal, it will transmit and shift the light frequency. It also will bring you into stillness for you yourself to go in and access the physical body, emotional body, to make the body aware that you're moving into the attention of it.
Yes, Patricia is saying, feeling and knowing now, my tears are the love of the holiest of holies is around me now.
Yes.
And Joy is saying feel like they've got much more clarity.
So thank you, Joy, for saying that, because when the mind goes into this quietness, means that it's letting go of all the thought forms and it's accessing the higher superconscious mind. It's accessing the light intelligence that you're hearing with these frequencies. The energy of the light intelligence brings the crystals of the pineal, crystals of the higher mind starts reacting, and you will have clarity. And so a lot of people will find that they're journeying the next day or that night is a lot more explicit, and they feel lighter. The body feels lighter when they get up the next day, because the mind has moved out of the heavy, dense thought forms, released some of the karma trauma episodes of the lifetimes, and now you're lighter. And that's why I mentioned that the clairaudience, clairvoyance, claircognizance, all of that starts embracing the cellular body.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if it's Joy again, but they're saying, why do I feel many times a day this lifetime is too long for me? I feel that I'm exhausted living a life. Is that just because of all of the lower frequencies and those shadow selves that are being kind of churned up?
I didn't hear the first part.
Why does she feel many times a day this life is too long, and that they're exhausted living life?
Yeah, and I'm money at two and I'm money at two I don't know. That's a hidden self that is surfacing as they're moving into a higher state of consciousness. The body becomes exhausted. There's a part of our inner child that is tired of waiting and the routine of working at, this is another day where it's not being cleared, or this is another day that the muscle's aching. So the body's getting exhausted and tired as we're moving into the higher states. And that's why it's really important to do this on a regular basis, as often as you can, to let go of these attachments of hidden selves. They're not your frequencies. You have to ask. I had this thing in my mind, put baby in the corner, right? That was this thing from the movie. No one puts baby in the corner. So I would always say, okay, I have a hidden self that's always complaining and saying, I don't like this. It's not working. I'm still stuck in this. I wish I could do that. I'm wondering when I'm going to be able to accelerate out of this planetary consciousness. And so you have to just realize that those are hidden selves of the mind and the cellular network of the body that are interrupting and slowing down the process of your mind listening to the higher consciousness. And so when we go into this quietness and just say, okay, no more talking, I'm talking to the inner child, no more talking. We need to just be still for a second. Show me a sign you're here with me now. I need to know you're here. Come on down. I need to know you're here. I'm calling in my higher soul, a higher essence of my divine presence. I'm calling in an infinite master to guide me, to assist me in this now moment. And I give this guide full permission to release the hidden selves, the old memories, the trapped energies that is blocking me from connecting into my higher mind, into my mastery. and do the adjustments. Heal those hidden selves. Elevate my mind so that I have clarity, and that all things in my life, all energies in my body, are in the highest vibration of light intelligence in every now moment. Breathe in this energetic light of your higher soul, higher beings, and infinite love of who you are. Breathe in that love even deeper into your heart. It's the key consciousness to shift you. Relax your shoulders. And we're going to pour more of this infinite divine love and light to empower you. Perfect. I see everybody's being empowered by a thread of light. It's tweaking, adjusting, but now empowering your inner child to be connected to just this higher source of light intelligence, to strengthen your body, awaken your mind to this higher essence, and anchor you into Gaia with this higher infinite knowledge of who you are. Deep breath in, slow breath out. And just move the shoulders around a little bit, just to get everything adjusted and fitted in place. I like to always visualize that a liquid light energy of a higher intelligent, just like a liquid form, just moved inside me, and I'm embodied, totally embodied by this liquid light intelligence of my true higher self, and that I'm connected to the infinite all through this liquid light embodiment that knows this, that knows my inner child is calling out for the higher soul.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Lots of people now are asking for their various issues. I'm just really conscious of the time. I know we started a little bit late, but it is just coming up to 7 o'clock. So 11 o'clock and 2 o'clock, depending on your time zone. And before we go into the activation, which I know you wanted to do the activation at the end, are you still happy to do that?
If there's time. I was just doing those activations limitedly as we were going through it.
Okay. Well, I'm happy to talk about your special offers and free gifts, and then if you like, we can just go through some of these individual ones. Is that okay? All right, brilliant.
What was the question that you were saying somebody was asking?
A few people are just saying about your understanding or the infinite being's awareness of what's going on. And one of them is asking whether or not their issue is particularly past life related. But we can go into more depth on those questions, and we'll just talk about your free gifts and special offers. I think if people want to have a more in-depth session with Nora, Nora's offering a discounted session as her one of her special offers. She's offering 2 special offers. So there's a 60-minute personal healing and teaching session with Nora, and that's at a discounted price for the audience here. Do you want to speak a little bit more about what people would gain from that session?
Yeah, so in that 1 hour session, I will always shift the consciousness field around the body. That begins, I begin clearing and scanning like I did with the group just now, but it's more of a building a stronger network to your higher connection. And so I like to clear the body of any blocks, routines, programs, fear-based energies, especially that have been through the hidden selves and shadow selves. And I find a lot of people right now are having these relivings that are surfacing. And in some of these relivings that are surfacing, they're masters that they're not sure of. Are these, the good guys or the bad guys? Was I on the good side of the fence with that guy in that timeline, or was I on the bad side? So we do have a lot of reliving surfacing right now, and they just really want to know, was I a part of that timeline, or was I that master? So I have a lot of those queries in the sessions that I've been doing lately, so that it activates a higher ability when we end a session. There's also been physical energies of exhaustion and pains and aches that are stuck in certain areas where I've been seeing a lot of hooks and imprints embedded into the body. That is etheric healing, and the whole psychic anatomy has to be healed of some of these deep imprinted timelines. So I feel that a lot of the sessions, although they're pretty expanded what I do, there seems to be mostly about repairing the wounded selves and removing those imprinted cellular memories.
Yeah, okay. Excellent. Which, I mean, we have a lot coming up for release, so that we can actually move into those higher states. And somebody, it's an anonymous attendee, but somebody's just put, what can we do to hold more light and invite our guides and ancestors and angels to be with us? And one of the things is to clear our fields and to release ourselves from all of these things. And so, in whatever way, whatever healing or teaching or practice that you use to do that, this is the kind of work that we get to be doing to enable us to connect in on a higher vibrational level and to sustain that vibration.
Yeah, and that's a very good question, because that's what I hold the whole hour that I wanted to talk about stillness for, is because you have to be, it's a new way of living. It's a new way of thinking. It's a new way of operating. We're in the 5th dimension. The planet is all over the place with all the kingdoms and all the elements. Everything is shifting. And so we have to be absolutely aware of clearing the aura. And the only way that you can do this is going into the stillness and checking. Like, you have to stop at the stop sign and look both ways. You have to stop the moment that it's almost like you have to have these acute antennas up in your ears and on your head, front and back, 24/7 now, because this is the time of change, and it's going to get a lot bumpier out there. It really is. And so if you're going to hit these dirt roads, you got to stop at the stop sign. You got to slow the vehicle down, which is your body and your mind, and listen, access what's going on in the body. Listen to the higher consciousness, not listening to the regular noise. This is how you clear up the aura field, and how you also start building a crystal light grid system that becomes your new aura field. It's like you're building an etheric hologram of higher grid systems of consciousness,
Mm.
you're moving through what's going on around you.
Mm.
And so it's a very good question that how do you do that? How do you sustain the higher consciousness? By continually going in and sweeping and clearing your mind, your aura field, and your inner body.
Mm. Absolutely. The second part of Nora's special offer is there's another package which is 4 accelerated audio activations. Now I know you have a number of different ones on your websites, but you've specifically provided the spring equinox 2023, the fall equinox 2023, the summer solstice, and also the infinite 8-8 gateway. Is there anything specific that you wanted to share around what people would experience during these transmissions? They're all around about an hour long, and the whole bundle is for a discounted price of $77. But yeah, is there anything that you wanted to specifically share around what people would experience on those transmissions?
Yeah, I do a lot of teachings, courses that I teach, Sheila's of Mastery courses and these sort of things. And once a month, I do a gateway or a solstice once a month. And I find that the type of teachings that I do is much different than just regular teaching with words. And I teach through activations, as you've noticed at the very beginning. It's mostly for activating and the doing of it that you receive the teaching. And so I wanted to have the very powerful gateways, equinox, solstice energies, and the 8-8 gateway was extremely powerful because it was a Vesica Pisces frequency, and it was intertwining a higher consciousness to the infinite consciousness and gateways of light. It's also about the cellular structure of the body that has been changing throughout this year, but more prominently changing on these particular gateways. And I thought, there's different bundles of packages I could put together, but I thought, no, I think the audio activations of these primary times of each month is really going to top people up and accelerate their journey.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, so we'll just take another couple of questions. So Rachel is saying that they've been experiencing pain in the left lower abdomen. It was very intense yesterday, experiencing something very similar several months ago, and the doctors thoroughly checked out and there's nothing, no medical cause can be found. And they're just wondering if it's past life related.
No, I just pulled it out.
Oh,
I could see a little black bead there. And this was a timeline where there was chronic pain in the abdominal area. And this was, a repetitive timeline. And so they just pulled that frequency of that chronic pain from 4 timelines. Correct. So 4 timelines created, and this would have been the 5th timeline of that chronic pain. It's an energetic phantom frequency, and that's why the doctors can't see it. So I'm just pulling out that frequency in that lower left abdomen. It's done. Okay.
Joy is just asking if there's any support for grounding. And I think a number of people will be experiencing the same thing of finding it difficult, particularly in these ever-changing energies, to ground their field. I don't know if there's anything specific for her, but just from my perspective, if we're connected and we're being that energetic bridge, then that it's to me, it's like you're setting down your taproot. If you've got your clear and perfect channel running through and you're allowing yourself to be that clear bridge between the higher frequencies, that to me is what enables me to ground through the chaotic, ever-changing energies around me. But if there's anything that the Infinite Masters want to share for that.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, waya chiyo on toko koyata. And the grounding begins niyamaya jitano from within the body. Tiato ichuchuko kokoria chuchuchuno. Feel the energy inside your body while you are listening to the higher consciousness around the body. Breathe in the warm energy into your feet. Direct the energy into the feet and into the heartbeat of the crystal core of Gaia. Visualize a crystal heartbeat. Yanoko koyete ichitono, crystallizing the foot chakras into oneness of Gaia's heartbeat, into the foot chakras, into your heartbeat as oneness. Your originating crystallized vibration arrives through the crystal heartbeat of this crystal star planet that is also awakening and asking for you to be anchored into her heart through your feet. That is all. And you could feel your feet getting warm now. And there's just this rooting in on top of your head, but into your feet. So kind of concentrate on top of your head. As soon as I feel I'm going to start taking off into a very high state, and I know that I'm going to be soaring and channeling for an hour or two, I always know that if I'm 3 feet above my head, I have to be 3 feet below my feet in the ground. And so you always want to take that again, feel your body, become aware of the energies in your body. And so feel your feet. And if you're laying down, feel the root chakra.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that during your aura clearing, there was quite a bit of clearing in the root chakra area, in the pelvic area.
People are not getting grounded because the root chakras are so filled with the dark karma, hidden selves, and shadow selves. It's where a lot of the energies that I do healings on people, the 2 main areas is in the root chakra, the occipital area down the back, and the base of the brain, where the soul seeds are in the mouth of God. Tip of the spine at the top, tip of the spine at the bottom. Those 2 areas, they hold a lot of heavy, heavy timelines. And so sometimes I just have to go in and zoom in to those 2, like a little ice cream scooper, and get out those stuck on deep, dark soul timelines of fear, torture, death, curses, cults, all that stuff. I have to get it out of the back of the base of the brain and out of the below the root chakra and below the tailbone. And once that's done at the root chakra and the tailbone, now the energy flows through, right through into Gaia.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you've got any blockages within, then you're not able to let the energy flow through. I'll just take one more quick one. Well, hopefully it'll be quick. So Melina is saying she's been feeling acute pain in the wings area at the back of the heart recently. Is it possible to receive any mini healing from Nora? And I'm calling on that one because I I have a feeling that a number of people are feeling, even if they're not acutely aware of a physical pain, that they're feeling something in that area at the back of the heart. So that's why I've been drawn to that one.
So this is a funny one, because, and it won't be long here, but it's a funny one because I always see, like, even when you're talking right now, in my vision, I see a bullseye in that circle between the wingtips at the back. It's like you're walking around with a bullseye, like a target on the back of you. And so when you have these thought forms of fear or anxiousness or unsettledness, and you have a whole whack of your hidden selves and shadow selves that are uncertain of certain things in life right now, you build this imprint, and it's like a bullseye on the back of you. And so wherever you're going, you're attracting, and everything is honing onto that area. It's attracted to that imprint of a bullseye, of rings within rings, right in the center of your back of your heart and at those wingtips. And so it's almost like a spider web of energies that's just in that one area. And really what it is most times is just where all the hidden selves and shadow selves are surfacing outside the back of the heart. And it just sits there, and it's just like flies to the light, right? It's just attracted to go into that area. And so now you're heavy laden because you're carrying all the other thought forms and all the other projections from everybody else where you're in a lineup or wherever you're going. You're just walking and collecting all these lower vibrations. And so it's like you need to take the sweater off, and another sweater and another sweater of all these layers of other people's consciousness. And so I'm just going to get them right now to just put a massive beam of light that's going to just scatter all those hidden selves and shadow selves of other people's, not just your own. Hey, Chokorana. Chokorana. There it goes. Now it's off. And now we're going to put a beautiful liquid light, crystallized vibration with mirrors inside of it. Correct. So they want a little diamond shaped pattern from the base of the brain. We're at the oblongata. It's going to go down to the shoulders and then down to the tailbone as a crystal liquid light diamond. It's liquid energies moving through that whole area, the back of you, and it has little flecks of little mirrors, frequencies in it, which is going to reflect anything that's out of alignment back to the source. That's it. Okay. They're bowing down at me right now, so I think they're finishing too.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I'm aware of the time, and I really appreciate your time and the work and the generosity of the Infinite Masters coming through. Because again, I mean, I know I've only been able to pick a few people's questions, but whether or not you're listening live or whether or not you're listening on the replay, this is all relevant, because my intention for the summit, as always, is that the perfect transmission or the perfect message comes through for you, no matter when you hear it. You know, it doesn't matter. Time and space is not linear as we kind of consciously know it to be. So, you know, whether you check into this call in a month's time, you will receive exactly what you need to receive from this. So thank you for everybody with your questions, with your comments. There's lots and lots of love in the chat for you, Nora. Absolutely lots of love.
That's really good. I'm happy to hear that. And I know that the masters want to give the higher vibrations. The activations, the many activations that just took place from the beginning with the stillness and with the clearing and clearing of the directional teachings also amplified and shifted everybody. Even when I'm talking now, the masters are continually working on you. They're very, very closely embedded in my inner body now, and in my voice and in my hand movements. Everything is transmitted of this higher intelligence in every word that I say. So healings are taking place, adjustments are being done, and the moment that I know they're coming in is my voice will change, and then I know that everybody's getting another adjustment.
That's wonderful. I mean, it's funny because whenever you're working, whenever you're channeling them, in my head, I've got light language spinning through my head as well. So yeah,
You're connecting with their frequency.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure many people are in their own way as well. But that was absolutely amazing. And as I always say, Nora brings through incredibly high vibrations. So one thing that I will say, if you are listening on the replay, just be aware that there were activations going through sort of continuously through this call. So maybe stop and listen when you're in somewhere safe.
And keep hydrated.
Absolutely. Yeah, somebody's just got, I will drink extra water today. So yeah, absolutely.
I see. Yeah, you have to be very hydrated right now with these high frequencies, and that will stop the exhaustion also. But when you're with me in the one-on-one session or anything like that, you really have to be hydrated a lot. I drink about 2.5 liters a day, just because I know the brain just feels tight. It feels tight on my head sometimes. And it's like, okay, this is too tight. We need to get this off of here. And it's because you guys are coming in too strong. So I have to hydrate.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hydration is a key essential thing. So thank you so much, Nora, for joining us again. It's an absolute joy and pleasure to be in space with you. I absolutely love it. My voice does feel better, actually. I know I might not sound it, but
you're going to get more healing in the next hour from me.
I know, absolutely. I'm loving the fact that I'm going to just drift into the stillness after this call as well, as will everybody. But no, I actually do feel a lot better, and I could feel them working at the back of my scapula throughout the whole session. So thank you to everybody with your questions and your particular issues, because we're all one at the end of the day. So we're all going to be benefiting. It doesn't matter. You know, if you've asked an individual question, we're all of the same collective vibration and frequency. So much love and gratitude to you, Nora. So much love and gratitude to everybody that's managed to join us live. All of your energies come together to make this summit the special thing that it really is. And it constantly and consistently expands my heart each time that I open up the space to welcome new people in. So I look forward to sharing space with everybody who can make the next live call, which is tomorrow with Raven Many Voices. And we're going to be talking about shadow guides, which is a new one on me. So she's going to be talking about guides and allies that we may not actually realize and expect to have as guides and allies. So that's going to be an interesting call. And I hope that as many of you can join me then at the same time. I will get this replay out as soon as I possibly can. It has been live streamed, thankfully, so it will be available on YouTube immediately. But with much love to everybody, including you, Nora. So much love.
Blessings, blessings.
Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Okay, you too. Be well.
I will, thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Oh, thank you so much, Nora. Unfortunately, when I shut a webinar down, it closes it for everybody, but absolute, so much love to you. Thank you so much. And once I've got a bit better, I will book in for a session with you, because I really think after this clearing, I'll need another something.
Okay. All right. Sounds good to me. I look forward to it.
Oh, absolutely. So do I. All right, my lovely. You have a wonderful rest of your day. And thank you again so much.
Bye.
Take care, everybody. Bye.